Welcome to Extended Disc. In today's webinar, we want to provide some background for those of you who may not have met us yet. Extended Disc is an international assessment company with operations in almost 50 countries and 250 team members. Extended Disc offers internationally validated assessments that can be tailored to clients' unique needs and preferences. If you'd like to learn more, contact us on our website or follow us along any of our social media outlets. As a reminder, this webinar will be recorded and all registrants will receive a link to the recording, and it will also be posted on our YouTube channel. Use the Q&A section to ask us any questions you may have. If we are unable to answer them during our live session, we'll reach out to all registrants with the response. Thanks for joining us. And now here's the host of today's webinar.
What a fantastic entrance. Hi, everyone. My name is Christina Bowser, and I'm the training director here at Extended Disc North America. And joining me today, if I can get my slide to work, is my wonderful colleague and senior trainer, Wilma Stevens, all the way from Northern Alaska. I mean, what we were talking about Alaska, Canada. I'm sorry, north of me. Hi, Wilma.
Yes. Hi, Christina, and hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
So you
yay or nay? Yay. I want to say yay or nay, but It's really yay or ugh.
Yeah. How do you feel about transitioning back to the office? Now, we all know that, a lot of us are kind of in the stages of transitioning, or we're thinking about transitioning, or we're back. But we all know that we're not really going back to the same workplace that we left. And when we left, I kind of felt like, me personally too, it was an abrupt, like all of a sudden everyone go home, start working remotely. But the transitioning back is a little bit different. So we're going to talk about how DISC can help us understand the transition process and help us facilitate it better, not only for ourselves, but for our employees. Anything you would add, Wilma, before we kind of get into the different DISC styles and how they transition?
Yeah, just a segue, good job, everybody, on the initial pivot, right? It happened like that, where everybody was, bam, working from home. And there was adjustments and there was change. Now we seem to be merging back. And again, this brings change. And we all know that when we are in the epicenter of change, a key thing to do is to make sure that we communicate. Even I would say over communicate, be very clear, be very transparent on exactly what the plan is. So one of the nice things about DISC is this is a communication tool. It helps guide us through our interactions. So one of the nice things that Christina and I talked about yesterday was, with each style, what's going to go well and what are going to be some challenges. So the idea of today's webinar is just to shed a little bit of light on things that may come up for you and your people.
Yeah, I think the May part.
So let's get after it.
Yes, we talk about what is DISC anyway, right? And DISC really helps us to predict how we prefer to do things, how we tend to show up. So if it gives you the information on how, you or your employees or your colleagues prefer transitioning or prefer essentially going through a change, it helps you make better decisions going forward. So the way that we kind of set up this webinar is we're kind of looking just based on different styles. Obviously there's an overview. But with D styles and change, the yay part is definitely, let's get going. Let's network. I'm going to be able to multitask. I'm going to get resolutions sooner. I can, change is good. It's about moving forward. So they are definitely that part, those aspects of the yay for the D style. But not just for the D style, but for all of us. And Wilma and I talked about this is Um, we all know there's some inefficiencies to going to work. Mainly for many of us, it's the commute, right? Having to get dressed and organize your day and get in the car and drive to work. For D style, sometimes that's like just this unnecessary thing, where they can just be at home and just get up and get started on their day. So that might be one of the less challenges. Another one might be independence, right? When you're at home, you are kind of managing yourself. I mean, obviously, we communicate via email and phone and Zoom, but you're pretty much controlling your schedule. And that's less so when they're back in the office. And that might be more of an UG for the D style. What about you, Wilma? What do you think about for D styles?
I think for D styles, any inefficiencies can light them, light the firecracker, right? They like smooth transitions. So when you're working with your D, we know that they want to have clear communication and have a good idea of what to expect when they get back to the office. So for sure, I think that for our D people, the traffic jam is going to be inevitable. The number of cars on the road is going to increase, or just the people on the public transit. So those are things that I think happen. But remember, Ds love change. So they may be tired of being in their house. And we know that they can even love change sometimes just for change's sake. So, we can anticipate our Ds coming back in pretty jazzed up about just another change.
Yeah. And I think the other thing, just to
Mhm.
kind of remind ourselves as D styles, or if we're managing our D styles, is sometimes your pace, you kind of got to reset it. Sometimes we're very independent as D styles. We're like, go, 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 go. Let's just get things done. And when you're back in the office, you need to think about, do I need to slow down the pace? Do I need to kind of look around and check in with everybody? And that's something that, it's not good or bad. It's just a reminder to yourself as a D style that, you might have to just take it down a notch.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a great point, Christina. But I think for all of our styles, the self-awareness piece, like how am I showing up right here, right now? For our I styles, yay, I'm back in the office. I get to chat with people. I'm even going to get to meet some new people that were hired during the lockdowns. And all of these things are great. But that, unbridled enthusiasm is awesome as a spearhead for, positive change. But they also will need to take a deep breath, right? And go, who is my audience? And I think as well, when we think about the whole change piece and the yay and the ugh, what are we going to wear? Right? I'm so sure, comfortable. Like I always say, yoga pants or track pants or sweatpants and a nice top has been, the last 12 months. But I think even when the change we'll see is a change in what we wear to work. So how does an I style take on change? Well, I styles, they want to have a little bit of fun. So change for them can be exciting and positive. And as I said, they're like a positive spearhead on a team. So they're going to want to bring everybody up through that enthusiastic way that they have of, keeping the team moving forward. And of course, remember the motto of an I. I'm a really nice person. Everyone should like me. So I's are going to want to be liked. They're not going to want to be saying unpopular things. A challenge for our I's, Christina mentioned it earlier, just the getting organized in the morning, getting the systems in place to efficiently get to work on time with everything that they need at work. Those are some things. So I think that our I styles initially may look upon the opportunity to meet new people as a really great thing. The ugh part could be, oh, I have got to get myself organized early in the morning and out the door with my lunch on time, on the right train, and into work. What do you have
And
to say,
also
Christina? What would you add?
excitement, the excitement about being back in the office and being around people, make sure that it doesn't let it distract you from actually, focusing on the task. So for your S styles, if you guys remember, are on the more reserved style. Like we call them the steady eddies, right? They probably have just kind of gotten into their routine. It took them a while to get settled as a remote worker. And now we got to change again. So why we got to change, right? And so for your S styles, they like clear routines and plans. They like to know what's coming up. So, it's not that they won't change, we always say, but they have this emotional reaction to it. So there might be some resistance to change, even though it's going back into the workplace, but they're not, they just don't know, it's not the same workplace they left, as you heard me say. So they're definitely going to be more anxious, and they may not even speak up and let you know that. So it's really important, if you're, a manager, to really kind of check in with them, see how they're doing, see if there's any, additional support they need. They're looking for guidance and direction. They're definitely excited about being back in the office where they're back with their quote unquote team, but as Wilma said, even the teams are slightly different. So they're going to look to you for support and direction. Anything you would add, Wilma?
I would just say, if you've got a plan written down, and I hope that you do, I think it's a good idea to send it out to everybody. But I think your S's will really appreciate that, because we're going to warn them of the change ahead of time so they can process it and take that time. Okay, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. That's what I would do.
Yeah, and I think it's not that work-life balance isn't, of course, important to everybody, right? But it is a very critical issue, especially, I think, for your S style. So again, just be aware that, check in with them. Do they have childcare? Are they taking care of anyone? Do they have to be more flexible in that time? Again, they may not ask for it, but they're gonna respond very positively if you do that. C styles.
So our C styles. So it says S styles, but we're tricking you for all the C's.
Every time I make a mistake,
it's a C
for some
style.
reason, it's always the C style. I'm so sorry.
We like to do that so the C styles can find it.
That's
so
right.
We know that C's love the question why. And they're also going to be like, why do we need to change now? Like, this system is working. So again, our C's, they like information. Like an S, they're a more reserved style, right? They like data. They're going to want to know the plan. They're going to want to be able to fully flush out that plan even before they get to work. So we want to warn them again about change, because they're very logical. They're cautious. They're not the first person, to be high-fiving everybody down the hall, right? It will be an adjustment for all of them. So they're going to want to see exactly how this plays out. Remember, our C's tend to be a little bit quieter. They're going to be observing what's happening. So they love that question why. They like to ask it, and they like to have a thorough answer. So make sure you talk to your C employees on, this is why we're doing this. This is what the benefit will be, and this is when it's going to happen. That's going to help, our C styles. I think even in an office space, I think one of the things that could happen, we talk about the now normal. One of the things that could happen is that we could have first come, first serve seating. And for a C, that will be challenging, right? They like to know exactly where their stuff is. But for everybody, for all the styles, we want you to know that over communicate, be clear, transparent, and let everybody know exactly what's going to happen. And I guess the thing that Christina and I talked about yesterday was that we need to really, I think, be generous and gracious in the process of change, because we'll all need some additional patience as we figure out the new now normal.
Yeah, and as Wilma said, over communicate. There's, I think it's a great time to remember that People will process what information they need. So just if we do that, if we remember to keep the channels open, if we check in with everybody, it will just make that transition so much easier. All right, thank you for, as always, we just kind of rushed through it and chat. We could chat forever, but check in with us. We still have more resources about change and transition and DISC styles. We do have another webinar coming up on activities to support your team DISC sessions. So a lot of you guys do team sessions, and this is a really good one. It's a 30-minute one. We're going to be sharing some of the activities that we do, and we people respond really positively and get a lot out of it. So join us July 15th. That's a Wednesday from 11:30 to 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. Yes, there's a recording. It will be coming out. I'll fix the PowerPoint, so I'll try to make it available. So just reach out to us. You can reach out to us at info@extendeddisc.org. So thank you guys all for joining us, and have a wonderful day.
Thanks, everybody. Good luck with the transition.